And Jay is actually going to switch off of this then.
Yeah, that's I guess he didn't like how soft he was to Elder with his creep deck. The first one, Jay was in some danger. It took him a while to win the game, and also maybe seeing that Abra's Magmar deck has very, very few ways of dealing with an artifact. So Twin Fang, just equipping it cold is going to be really strong.
Yeah. I don't think that Abyss matchup was too bad for Jay, but I don't think this Magmar versus Magmar is actually let's say it seems roughly equal to the Abyss to me, but Jay's probably thinks that it's better, and he knows the deck's better than I do, so.
Well, I mean, I think you're absolutely right that they're probably about the same, and I mean, Jay also probably thinks that because, of course, game one he went with creep, so it's one thing Jay might be thinking is that the creep deck or the Magmar deck he's playing right now is a lot more difficult to understand the creep deck. And now that Abra has experience against the creep deck, and obviously Abra's a very experienced player and will sort of understand how to, he's played the matchup before, but Abra might not know how to deal with this Magmar deck, and that can have a lot of value.
Yeah, absolutely. It sort of seems like Jay's secret weapon in this. Like he's built a pretty unique deck that nobody else was running prior to this, really. Maybe people had noticed the combo and were doing something similar. I think Jay's got a pretty nice plan for dealing what happens when your opponent it's an open deck list. They might run away. Well, you can deal with it with Tracer and with this Rush Mogwai. And if you don't know how to deal with that, I mean, I still don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah, no, it's a really powerful deck, and it's very strong, and it was obviously very difficult to figure out how to do it properly. Really interesting choice by Jay here, and by Abra. Both players, kind of playing chicken with this Kujata, right? Abra leaving it in range, and then Jay being like, "Nah, I don't even care to clear it."
Yeah, it's not too bad for Abra just to sacrifice his Kujata now to natural select.
Yeah, Jay does not have a ton of natural selection targets. I mean, yeah, it's basically Dancing Blaze is the best one. So
yeah, and that'll be pretty sweet vindication for he could have just walked up and hit the Kujata. And it turns out the play did definitely didn't need to. So
yeah, I mean this is it's so complicated, and it depends so much on what's in Jay's hand, because Jay's deck can approach the match in a lot of different ways. And if he has a draw that already has a couple combo pieces in it, then maybe he's going to go that way. If he's got a draw that's more controlling, then maybe he'll play in a different way. So Abra in this situation is going to be trying to guess what Jay might have that causes him to play in the way that he's playing, and how can he sort of parry that effectively.
Yeah, Jay ripping out the 6-mana Macanto, the Magmar Classic here, but now he's going to choose where he's going to move Starhorn, because you don't want to just get hit by the counter Macanto.
Yeah, so this is kind of interesting because this line suggests that Jay has a good amount of burst in hand. We know that Jay has a 1-mana Blood Tear. That can be an important combo piece with Twin Fang, especially if you can Vindicator it out. So Jay just trying to get the health total low enough that a small-ish Twin Fang combo can get there. And Abra sensing that, healing up, body blocking, doing all the right things and saying, if Jay's hand is full of these combo pieces, then they're not going to have that many serious threats to play. So, as long as I just buy time and don't die right now, I'm probably in good shape. So, there's lots of, sort of lots of mind reading here, maybe lots of bluffing going on. It's a very, very difficult game.
Yeah, that's why it's sometimes interesting to watch just one player's perspective. I do it because I don't always have both players added, but I don't think it's a worse experience. Sometimes it's really interesting to see just what one player might be thinking. Sometimes when you have both hands, you're like, oh, why didn't they do that? And the opponent doesn't have it.
Yeah, I mean, it can also make you appreciate, how good some of these players are in terms of the pressure that they're putting on their opponent. You can look at sometimes you can look at Abra's hand and be like, oh man, all of Abra's cards suck, right? And it's like, oh, it's because their opponent played in a way that really really spooks them, right? So here, Jay had sort of two control cards, right? The natural selection and the harvester, and not clear if he just top decked those or if he was playing in a certain way previously to suggest that his hand was one thing that it really wasn't, to try and get an advantage out of that. You can also see Jay had this option to not hit the 4/1 veteran and instead have the harvester do that ping and then leave the egg up. And Jay would be at 4 more health, but of course, there'd be a veteran egg on board. And so with that kind of thing, you can also sort of see what the players think their opponent might be up to. Jay not worried about his health total, in part because Abra's deck doesn't have that much that can really threaten, in part because Abra isn't really playing in a way that suggests that they might be able to do any substantial amount of damage anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just down while you were talking, I was looking at how possible it was for Abra to play around a Macanto here. And he could have moved Mystic up more and Vath to the side more, but he just wants Vath to hit Starhorn. And when they're on 9 HP, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I think here, what Abra is saying is that if my opponent spends their whole turn just Macantering me and my 2/1, I'm not so mad. And I think in part that's because they have this Vindicator on board that's kind of hard to clear if they're also Macantering. So this is a lot of damage, right? This is 8, right? This is extremely close to being lethal. Oof.
Yes, I wonder what Abra will do here, because you could set up a lethal next turn, but then maybe you're just hoping that your Vindicator doesn't die. It's like Flash is going to come into it.
Yeah, I mean, sort of the hand is really clunky, and this is sort of one of the downsides of playing these super greedy Magmar decks, is that you can't play 2 minions here, right? So it's, you got to choose one thing to play, and it's not clear what it should be. This Kujata that Jay has on board is extremely threatening, because if you leave a Kujata up against the Twin Fang deck, that is just like a million billion Twin Fang procs. Like, if Jay has a Vindicator, Mogwai, Twin Fang, or Twin Fang Tracer with the Kujata on board, Abra is almost certainly dead. And because of how Jay was playing earlier, it kind of suggests that maybe their hand is kind of slanted towards having those cards. So I think Abra suspects that they're maybe either going to have to get a bit lucky to survive this turn.
Yeah, this play was odd though, no? Like he just flashed the Dancing Blades for no particular reason?
Yeah, it sure seems a little odd. I don't fully understand. Normally you can make plays like that to try and draw extra cards, but here Abra was going to draw 2 anyway. So I'm not totally sure why they did that. And then Jay is noticing that Abra's Vindicator is so far away that if Jay moves to the space that he's moved to, the Vindicator, whatever it rushes out, actually can't reach him. So he's not afraid of an Elder hitting face here or anything.
Yeah, Vindicator has a pretty big range, but from here it's 1 space short. So,
so this is kind of a huge deal. So Jay now has a 1-mana Vindicator in hand.
Which is really nice.
Yeah. But the flip side of that is that the 1-mana Vindicator can't actually rush anything out as long as the Kujata's on board. And but the flip side to that is that with the Keeper on board and a Kujata on board, Jay is threatening to play his third Keeper on the existing Keeper, and then that's infinite damage procs. So you can do stuff like that, like if you equip a Twin Fang, and then it's a very complicated situation with many different threats at once.
It looks like Abra's going to start by dealing at least with the Keepers. That Keeper onto Keeper combo goes away for now.
Yeah, I think that a lot of what Jay was doing with this turn is that they're sort of just restricting what's available to their opponent. The Keeper is definitely not going to survive when you put it there, but it is going to force Abra to do certain things. And Abra here is choosing to leave up the Kujata.
Looks like a visual bug.
Yeah, there is an Elder right there. Is going to leave up the Kujata so that the 1-mana Vindicator in hand can't actually rush anything out, so it just dies. That makes a lot of sense because a lot of the ways that Abra dies here are with Tracer or Mogwai. So yeah, here Jay just pushing a little bit of face damage. Maybe he's got now if he's got a Dancing Blades or a Harvester in hand or a Rejuve, then or another Mercantor, then that known Vindicator is going to be enough to deal this last remaining bit of damage, provided he has a way to get his Kujatas killed, which is not a given. Abra could run away with the Elder, and then the Kujatas would have no way of dying.
Yeah, that's a bit odd because at this point, James probably pretty happy for his Kujatas to suicide into that and just play the 1-mana Vindicator we know he has. With Abra on 5 HP, there's a pretty good chance he can summon a 5-attack minion.
Yeah. Jay could also always just draw another Vindicator, right? Not the 1-mana version, so it is tricky. Here, Abra just choosing to push face damage, saying, look, I gotta win the game. At some point, if I just give my opponent infinite time, they're going to... okay. They're gonna... they're gonna find the combo and kill me. Though, apparently I'm completely wrong, and Abra instead is saying, I'm gonna sort of put my threats close to Jay, but still gonna clear the stuff that he has on board. But this is difficult because now Jay is not close enough to reach with a Tracer. So it needs to be exactly Twin Fang, a bunch of damage procs, Vindicator Mogwai.
He could win with just Vindicator Spirit Harvester as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, the Vindicator just and a thing with 4 or more attack. Or I guess it has to be 5 or more because he can't reach, but yeah.
Yeah. Which is actually not trivial. Like, Magma has a lot of 4 damage things, but not so many 5.
Yeah, there's only Harvester, and he's already played 1 Harvester, so it's tricky. It could be like Blood Tier, and then the Vindicator, and then this, but yeah, it's wow. Okay, so here Jay is staying in range of this invisible Elder. And obviously the Elder plus the Mercantor, that's 12. It's saying, are you going to have the extra damage? Oh wow, okay, yeah, it has this to do it. So now he's still in some danger because of Eggmorph. Yeah,
it's reappeared.
But it's hard to do Eggmorph plus something that kills you. So Jay is pretty safe here. There aren't that many things that work.
Yeah, and it is interesting to see this natural selection come down as a delaying tactic for the Elder. Like, it isn't killing it. It's going to hatch again at the end of Abra's turn. But Jay just needs to not get hit for 8 right now.
Yeah, Jay knows that. I mean, he must be very, very, very close to having a hand that can just kill Abra, and then the rejuve here is huge, right? Because now Jay really needs to combo in some way to win the game, and it's kind of hard to think of how he's going to do that because he's too far away, which is rare for this deck. The Tracer. So Jay only runs one Tracer and one Mogwai. So now that the Tracer is spent, either Jay has to somehow get his general close enough to yours to hit you, or he has to do exactly Vindicator Mogwai. So it is tricky.
Yeah, I think I saw Jay saying maybe he'd add another Tracer, but the deck space is so tight. It's tough because a lot of games you'd only need one, but then in the games where you used it here and then the situation changes, you don't have it anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely very difficult to balance, and it's also sort of a wider judgment call of where do you want to be in the meta as a whole. How much do you want to slant your deck towards the combo versus how much do you want it to be able to function without just this one specific game plan. Because a lot of the strength of this deck is that it can do many things at the same time and be flexible. Abra.
I think Abra is going to play Vindicator and Flash and Elder.
Yeah, probably. It's he could also do it the other way around if he wanted to, but yeah, he's got to clear this Harvester, because then if he doesn't and he takes the 5 damage, he's almost certainly dead to the Vindicator that we know Jay has in hand. Also body blocking with this this Vindicator, that makes a lot of sense, and it makes sense, I see, to flash the Elder and not the Vindicator, because then Blood Tier would clear the 1 HP Vindicator, and then Jay would be able to hit face, and that's really relevant.
Yeah, just to note, there is another egg. This one hatched it, but I don't know what's going on with this Elder. It's a little
it's
bit
shy.
Dark,
it's extremely shy.
There is an egg beneath this Abracadani. Oh, but here we see a Twin Fang.
Yeah. Oh, this is going to be a billion damage. So it's just about, can Jay reach? Yeah. So yeah, that one he's just playing that Vindicator as to get a damage proc, right? Yeah, and that's this is really funny that he's using the Mogwai to be able to get access to the general, and then yeah, that's really cool. Well played to Jay, well played to Abra. It's that was a really, really close match that could have gone either way.